The Joe Rogan Experience.
It's very difficult to get comics canceled unless they're doing something.
I know. You got to get...
I mean, even Aziz, which I think he got a fucking terrible deal. Like, what happened with him was terrible. It sounded like a bad date. And it sounds like one person's account of it, and he didn't give his account of it, and, you know, he just tried to stay supportive of Me Too and all that jazz, but that guy got devastated.
Oh, that was really...
He got wrecked by that. I mean,
yeah.
Really wrecked. And his special is a great indication of it. You see his recent special, it's like a giant apology.
I haven't seen it yet, but...
I mean, he's a funny guy, and... he didn't get canceled. I mean, he's still doing shows and everything, but as is Louis C.K., he's still doing shows. But those guys are an example. Well, Louis more so, right? He's an example because people are protesting. No one's protesting Aziz. You know, he had a bad date.
Yeah.
But but Louis to this day is still getting protested. Like he's still like people show up at his shows. They print every time he does a show somewhere. They print articles.
Oh, who cares? He's fine. I don't care.
You don't care about him, or you don't care?
I just like he's fine. He'll be fine.
Yes.
I mean, like,
but emotionally,
sure.
You don't care.
I just like emotionally. I think he's gonna be fine. I think it's all like you're gonna upset some people. They're gonna protest, but it's not gonna affect your ticket sales or how much people love you. And he knows that, and he's gonna be quite all right.
It's not the people that do love him. It's the people that hate him. It's like there's always going to be a certain amount of people that do love you, even if you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
If you're like, look, Donald Trump is one of the things that's fascinating about him to me is that he's the king of the assholes. Like he's a self-avowed asshole. It's very obvious that he's an asshole. And then other assholes like, finally, we got an asshole speaking for us.
Yeah.
And they want to wear sunglasses inside and yell shit. I mean, this is what he attracts, right? So even if you're an asshole, you're going to get a bunch of people who love you. It's just if you're in a public eye, people choose cult leaders, right? They don't choose them for their positive qualities. They get sucked into this idea of this person liking them and being on a team with this person. And if that person's a strong person, it's even more intoxicating. Donald Trump's a strong person. Celebrities are strong people. Celebrities are famous. Like, everybody hates you, Louis, but I support you. You're going to have those no matter what you've done. There's people out there that show up at R. Kelly's trial. And they have post signs and say, "We support you." Those bitches knew what they were in for. Like, really, this is something that's going on right now to this day. It's because people get incredibly drawn to someone who's in a position of fame and power, like a Donald Trump or anybody. And Louis is one of those too. So it's not that the people who love him don't always love him. And people love Louis before and they forgive him for what he's done, but there's going to be people that don't. And those people that don't, and they write articles and it's just like if he reads them, it just like burns on you. It hurts you. It's like, and he's a super sensitive guy. Yeah. So all this stuff, it's like he's going to be fine. Yes, but it's not devastating.
Yeah, but didn't he cause a little bit of devastation in some people's lives, perhaps?
For sure. Yeah,
so
for sure.
Eye for an eye. And I really think like the women, the angry people who don't like him or aren't going to shows wouldn't have gone to them anyway. And yeah, it's going to hurt to get that Google alert for your name when you know
you got to turn off that feed.
1 out of 10 articles is maybe negative about you, but he's doing all right. I mean, like I talked to him after it one night at the Comedy Cellar. And he told me some examples of things that have been said to him in public. Like, because I just asked him, I was like, what has it been like for you? This is right when he came out of hiding.
Right.
And he told me some stories of things that had happened in public where a woman once whispered in his ear, "You fucking piece of shit." Like he's at a store or something. Mm-hmm. And then another one where just a woman blatantly in the street was like, "Fuck you," And it was like, oh my fucking God, this is a nightmare for you walking outside your house. And I'm like, oh no, those are the only 2 times of the whole year. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that seems manageable. And he says, but 10 times a day, people are still asking for my picture and autograph. So it's pretty good. So I don't think he's suffering that much. And I don't think he deserves to suffer that much. I'm just saying, I think as many people hate him as maybe would have anyway, because no one can be famous for too long without people hating them.
Well, you know what he said a big one was? A big one was that Parkland thing. That joke that he made.
Oh, yeah.
That got released. He said that really fucked him up. That really fucked him up, the response to that. Because it was after, he had just started to do stand-up again after 10 months off, and then he did that joke about the Parkland survivors, about like, why are they interesting? And because you pushed a fat kid in front because you survived? Like, yeah, you're laughing. See, it's a fucked up thing that someone would say at a comedy club. When you take that out of context, then people get angry at it. But that is a classic Louis C.K. line. I mean, that sounds exactly like
we would have celebrated him for it before
100%.
This whole thing.
100%.
But now he's walking a fine line. He can't.
Also, the very beginnings, the embryonic stages of a bit, and that bit could have been a monster bit.
Totally.
Yes.
You're so right. That was the first
10
incarnation
months.
of that. But yeah.
No stand-up at all for 10 months.
So
and then he's got this bit, and he's working on it, and he's got an angle. The angle is, why are these survivors, just because they survive doesn't mean they're interesting. That is true.
Love it.
It is true.
Great bit.
It could have been an amazing bit, but some fuckhead had to record it and then put it on YouTube. And then you got guys like Judd Apatow yelling out about it, like as if this is like Louis' final statement on the subject. And it's this, especially by other comics, like that. I found that whole thing to be so fucked up. It's like, what a bit is.
Yeah.
And when someone's trying, like, don't you ever try out new bits?
Man, I've said some stuff on stage where I even say to the crowd, listen, that didn't come out right. That was the first. Please don't tell anyone that I just said that. Will you all be just cool?
Of course.
So I definitely understand that. And I understand saying things that make people feel really sad and angry and they feel hurt by it and they write mean things to me saying that I've hurt their feelings, and it feels shitty when people hate you. So I do feel for him that way. I do. Yeah. And that's why I asked him, like, what is it like? Like, you're the most beloved and then you were hated. I mean, that's gotta fucking suck.
It's gotta suck.
And he said he would have done that. He would have gone to Africa to disappear or wherever, somewhere to disappear, but his kids. He couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And so he had to sit around with it. So,
it's got to be super hard.
I sympathize, or I can empathize with that for sure. And that would suck.